Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. I'm mezzyshredder. I make things on the guitar easy to understand. I simplify and break down everything into its simplest form, no matter what's going on. Nothing is that difficult if it is explained in a simple manner. And today I'm going to do just that on how to play a nice pentatonic lick and how to make your licks sound like they belong on records or CDs or digital downloads, whatever you want it to sound like. I don't think you want to sound like it's on an 8-track. What is an 8-track anyway? I heard of them. I've blown some dust off some of those things, but I don't really know what an 8-track is. That's not true. But I've seen them in my grandpappy's house. So the bottom line is, wherever you're cutting this lick and however you're tracking it, you want the thing to sound professional. You want it to sound like it belongs on the records you listen to, the albums you hear. So here's the secret to that. The lick needs to end on the root note of the scale you're playing in. It is really just that simple. End of story. There's no more explanation. Done. One sentence. End your lick on the root of the scale. Stop. That's it. Sorry, there isn't much more to it. Whatever else anyone is saying is fluff. And I don't put fluff into my channel. I'm here to help you guys reach your personal best. That's the secret. Land on the root note in the box you're in, or whatever box you want to be in, but land on the root of the key. So, we're going to use this first pentatonic box in E minor. I'm tuned down 1.5 steps if you want to get my sound. And we're going to learn how to cut these licks. The secret is ending on that root note. So however you're going to do it, you got to end on the root using your various techniques, and that's basically where your skill is going to come in. How good are you at using the techniques and the things you play and then getting to the root note? It takes a little practice, a little thinking to pre-plan what you want to do a little bit, and then once you do that, it becomes intrinsic or natural to just lead to the root without having to think about everything you're doing. But in the beginning, to learn what you're doing, let's just walk to the root note in a nice, easy way. We're picking the high root note of this E. So we're just going to walk around the pentatonic scale and end on that E note. Notice I throw a little vibrato on the end, because if you don't, it just sounds like a dead note. So throw a little vibrato on the end, and if you don't know how to do that, then watch my video on how to do that. So let's get back to simple licks that end on E. A two-note lick ends on the E. If you don't end on E, it'll sound something like this. Or it's just nothing is going to work. Just because you're on the notes of the scale does not mean your lick will sound good. Your lick must end on the right note. It's like if you cook something and you know you're using all the right ingredients, but you burn it. Yeah, you used all the right stuff, but it's still not edible. You got to cook it without burning it. And it's the same thing with the licks. You can use the right notes, but you got to end in the right spot, or it's all a waste. It just doesn't work. So understand that you need to find the root note to land there and make the lick sound completed. That's what makes it sound completed. And you're only going to be able to do this with the minor note that names the key if you're working out of the minor pentatonic scale. And I have another video that explains why that is, so watch the video on how minor pentatonic scales work. Now let's get back to finding this root. So I'm going to use this root of low E on the 14th fret of D, and I'm just going to come down to that root. E. So that's the bottom line, guys. There is nothing else to it. And on the root note of the scale you're in, I would memorize where those root notes are so you can smoothly get to them anytime you want. Now, another thing you want to know. We bend up to the root. So if we're bending to E, if we're reaching the E note, then we can bend the D up to the E. So it helps to know your notes of the scale and the notes of the fretboard. If you don't know the notes on your fretboard, I highly suggest watching one of the first videos I released on how to memorize the board in minutes. It is a vital tool you'll need to reach your personal best. I believe if you don't know the board, you will not reach your personal best. You will still play very well, but it will not be the absolute best that you could possibly do. Reaching your personal best means owning this instrument. And to own it, you must know the fretboard by heart. And I have a video that explains so easily how to do that. Because again, this channel is all about making things easy. So there's an easy video on how to do that. And getting back to your notes, we're going to practice getting to the root note. That's all you're really doing. If I'm in the fifth box behind box 1, I still need to know where some E notes are. So there's still going to be 2 E notes in the fifth box that were still connected to the first box. My other E note is going to be at the 9th fret of the G string. That is the other choice I have now. So if I'm in this fifth box, I can lead to any of the 3 that I want to end on. There's that E again. Every box has a little bit different sound because of the way the notes are laid out. So you get different types of licks in each box. You will notice that if you land on the 5th of the scale, in E minor the 5th is B, that the lick sounds somewhat finished but not completely finished. So you can practice landing on the 5, which would be B in the key of E minor, and then getting to your root of E. There's the B, it sounds kind of finished. There's the E, finishing it off. Getting to the root note is key to sounding like you have a really nice lick. And guys, that's all there is to finding out how to write a nice pentatonic scale. End on the root note smoothly and you'll be there every time. Guitar made easy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more simple videos.